So let's start with the second part of the market basket analysis. Now, as we have seen, market basket analysis is a technique which identifies the strength of association between pairs of products purchased together and identify patterns of co-occurrence. Now, why this association analysis? In today's world, there are many complex ways to analyze data: clustering, regression, neural network, random forest, SVM, etc. The challenge with many of these approaches is that they can be difficult to tune, challenging to interpret, and require quite a bit of a data preparation and feature engineering and to get good results. In other words, they can be very powerful but require a lot of knowledge to implement properly. Association analysis is relatively light on the math concepts and easy to understand. In addition, it is a supervised learning tool that looks for hidden patterns. So there is a limited need for a data prep and feature engineering. It is a good start for certain cases of data exploration and can point the way for a deeper dive into the data using other approaches. Association rules are normally written like this, that is diapers, then it is along with the beer, which means that there is a strong relationship between customers that purchase diapers and also purchase beer in the same transaction. This is by experience people have seen. In the above example, the diaper is the antecedent and the beer is the consequent. Both antecedent and consequent can have multiple items. In other words, diaper, gum, beer, chips is a valid rule. Support is the relative frequency that the rules show up. In many instances, you may want to look for high support in order to make sure it is a useful relationship. However, there may be instances where a low support is useful if you are trying to find hidden relationships. Confidence is a measure of the reliability of the rule. A confidence of 0.5 in the above example would mean that 50% of the cases where diaper and gum were purchased, the purchases also include beer and chips. For product recommendation, a 50% confidence may be perfectly acceptable, but in a medical situation, this level may not be high enough. Lift is the ratio of the observed support to that expected if the two rules were independent. The basic rule of thumb is that a lift value close to 1 means the rules were completely independent. Lift rules greater than 1 are generally more interesting and could be indicative of a useful rule pattern. Now let us try and understand with an example like market basket analysis in grocery market. So you can see, these are the items of the grocery that one purchases normally, and let's take the following grocery data. So groceries is equal to, this is the data, that is groceries.text is the name of the data set, separated with semicolon, and because it is a panda, so you are reading as a CSV file, is a CSV file, and groceries. So when you print it, you will see that these kinds of data will be appearing on your screen. So as we can see, the items are in the same row separated by a comma. There are two ways to create the one hot data frame. One is to work with the count vectorizer or to work with the transaction encoder, as we will see right now. For this example, we will work with the association rules of 3 items. So before we move on to start coding with sample data set, let's try to understand a utility called ML extend. This utility is very useful, particularly in the market basket analysis, and we are going to use it as an example. We'll just show you. We actually will be using it when we'll actually go for the exercises. So ML extend is a library that implements a variety of core algorithms and utilities for machine learning and data mining. The primary goal of ML extend is to make commonly used tools accessible to data scientists, focusing on user-friendly and intuitive APIs and compatibility to existing machine learning libraries such as scalar when appropriate. Now this is the kind of code You must be familiar with now import pandas, import numpy, then from ML extend. Now ML extend that we have just discussed. Dot frequent patterns, import association rules a priori. Then from ML extend, pre-processing, import transaction encoder. These are all sub-libraries of the ML extend. And then you have to import it depending on your requirement. Then further on to that, this is of course the command get all the transactions. Transactions is equal to list groceries, whatever list that you have. Then instantiate transaction encoder. Encoder is a transaction encoder. Then one hot, I'm not explaining it because we'll be right now it is too early. So when we'll start working on the exercise, then I think it will be better to explain all these in more details. So convert one hot encode data to data frame. One hot is equal to pd.data frame. This again is a data file that you are going to use, and in that you have the columns is equal to encoder.columns. Then compute frequent items using the a priori algorithm. This is a comment. Then frequent item sets is equal to a priori one hot, minimum support is 0.001 and maximum length is 3. Use column names is equal to true. Right. So then compute all association rules of frequent item set, and rules is equal to association rules. This is what the rule that we are going to apply. Frequent item sets dot metric lift minimum threshold is equal to 1. So once you do that, then you may get this kind of a output. So let's say that we want to get the top associated rules. Given that left hand side has 2 items, then which item is more likely to be added to the basket? And rules is equal to IHS items or left hand side items is equal to rules antecedents. Apply lambda x dot len x. Rules this LHS items is greater than 1, sort values and lift ascending false head. So this is the kind of output you will get on that. As we can see, if someone has already added to his basket coffee or biscuit or cereal biscuit, then the item which is more likely to be added is orange. So this is kind of a just to make you understand or have a feel of it as to how this market basket analysis can be done with the help of the the Python, etc. Let's now visualize market basket analysis. We will show how we can visualize the market basket analysis association rules using heat map. We will show you all the rules where the left hand side consists of 2 items and we are looking for an extra one. So this is how you will get the graph, and this is something which is very helpful because it is always better to visualize your data using any graphical approach. So again you can write some code. Import cbond. Cbond is of course we have learned that when we were talking about the matplotlib under its standard alias. Import cbond as SNS. Replace frozen sets with these strings. Then again you are writing some code about the data. Rules antecedents apply lambda join list A, then rules consequence and then lambda again. Then transform the data frame of rules into the matrix using lift metric. Pivot is equal to rules, then pivot is equal to antecedent. Columns is equal to consequence values lift. Generate a heat map with annotations on and color bar off. So when you write, this is the remark for the time being, but you can use the annotations on that. That means you will start getting the figure inside that square. SNS heat map pivot comma annotate is equal to true. So here you are writing that annotation is true. That means you will start getting the figure in the box. PLT y ticks rotation and x ticks rotation is equal to 90, and then you will say the show the plot, that is show the graph, print the graph. So then this kind of a heat map you will be getting, and here you can see that on the bottom you are getting all the grocery items, that is biscuit, bread, cereal, etc, etc, and on the left side also you are getting the similar type of items, and then on the right side you are getting a column which you can adjust, that is for the user to adjust as to how big or small columns he wants. You can easily see the relationship between the different variables. So how the numbers that you are seeing inside that rectangular small blocks, that comes with the annotation. So this gives the strength of that particular block. Now the really nice aspect of association analysis is that it is easy to run and relatively easy to interpret. If you did not have access to MLXtend and this association analysis, it would be difficult to find these patterns. So using basic Excel analysis with Python and MLXtend, the analysis process is relatively straightforward. So this is how you can go for your market basket analysis. So this completes your market basket analysis. Thank you.